So, Alan, what was your background before you were a member of the European Parliament?
Well, I've very much got a hinterland outside of politics. I left school at 16, worked for the Royal Bank of Scotland for a couple of years, then went to uni. Qualified as a lawyer, so I'm a corporate finance lawyer to trade, worked in the City of London, but that wasn't what I wanted to do with my life, so I moved back to Scotland in 2000. As with the re-establishment of the Parliament in 99, things were getting exciting, things were interesting, a real sense that we can change the face of Scotland, and spent too much time shouting at the TV, so got more and more involved in politics. Stood for Westminster 2001 in Edinburgh West, which was a real tough seat in those days. Then 2003 again in Edinburgh West. But it was always Scotland in the world I was after. It was always, I believe Scotland can be a real force for good in the world as an independent state. There's lots of other states we could work with. So that's always been one of my motivating factors. So it was always the European angle I was after, and was elected in 2004. I'm involved in two charities as well. I'm a trustee of LGBT Youth Scotland, anti-homophobia charity, also vice president of the SSPCA, the animal welfare charity, and that keeps me fresh. So busy outside of politics, but pre-politics as well. There is no question a legal training in terms of how the law is administered is helpful when you're actually making the law, because it's often easy to forget that parliamentarians are legislators. We make the law, that's what we do, especially in the European Parliament. So being able to get to grips with a dossier quickly is really useful, and having an understanding of how the law works is useful as well.
And you once threatened Canada. How did that come about?
That was a good bit of banter, funny summer story. That was an article that there'd been some confusion about imports into Canada of Iron Brew. And of course, you don't attack our brew and there's no consequences. So I get into raising the banter that, well, if Canada's banning imports of Iron Brew, we'll ban imports of Justin Bieber. So this then went viral in Canada. So it's a cracking response. I was on CBC's Nightly News, and there was a bigger response to it in Canada than there was in Scotland. But everybody recognised that was banter. That was a good bit of fun, and we did raise awareness of the importation issue, which we managed to get fixed.
And if you were elected to the Depute role, what would you want to achieve in that position?
Well, I think there's two unique pitches that I'm making now. Point one is the European question is the fundamental attribute of politics in these islands for the foreseeable future. In 2014, I don't think we got the European question quite right. Now, that's in retrospect, but we spoke too much to the world via the London embassies, via the London journalists, and they looked at us with London's eyes. We need to speak direct to the capitals of Europe via the media, via the politicians, via the other MEPs, and I can do that. I can do that in a way that few other people can. We've got the focus on the European issue right now, but government's tough, and the minute something else happens, well, that focus might shift. I'll be able to maintain that focus. Now, I will have a role within that discussion anyway, as an MEP serving Scotland, but if I was depute of the party, it would augment that effort. It would give me a real authority within that discussion that I don't have at the moment. And it would underline to the people of the UK, the people of Scotland, that the SNP is choosing Europe as our future and Westminster is our past. So that's the first point. Also, that because I represent the whole of Scotland, I've travelled the length and breadth of Scotland, up and down the country. There isn't a constituency I've not knocked a door in. So there's a lot of things that we do need to change about how the party's doing business. We've been on a roller coaster since the independence referendum, but now is a time to take stock and be open to changing how the party does business. I do think we need to change how we do policy, because National Conference, National Council should absolutely keep that role for setting policy, but I do think we need a new forum to discuss policy, and that's where I would reinvigorate National Assembly, which remains within the party's statutes, but we haven't had one lately. And that would be a members-only event where we could discuss new ideas, chew the fat about what needs to be done, an energy policy for an independent Scotland, currency, pensions, whatever it might be. We need to be open to reassessing the case, and we need to involve the wider membership within that. That would reboot how the branches do policy. It would reboot a number of things about how the party discusses this stuff. So that's important. Also, that firmly of the view we do need to be looking seriously at regional organisers to cohere the different bits of the party in terms of branches, council groups, MSPs, MPs, MEPs. We need to make sure that the wheel isn't being reinvented. Now, there's a lot of places where there's a lot of good practice going on. I've also seen a number of places where there's not good practice going on, and we need to be better with that. We need to support the branches to do what they want to do, and I think paid organisers is very much where we need to be on that. I would start in Glasgow. Glasgow has a plan good to go. Councillor Susan Aitken, as leader of the SNP group, has a plan to win control of Glasgow City Council. That's a real nationally strategic objective for the party. So I'd start with Glasgow and then roll that out as a network as the case is made region by region. So being open to change but not being hidebound about what needs to be done as well. Because I can travel the length and breadth of Scotland. I'm not tied to one constituency or ward. So I'll continue to do what I always have been doing, being out and about, talking to the branches, talking to the members, keeping us all informed about what's going on. And that does give me a unique role within the 4 candidates that are available.